dreams. We're gonna rock tonight for a while. Come on, rock this place.
Welcome to the GSTL with Caldor and Wolf. We've got two awesome teams playing against each other today, Caldor.
Yes, we do. We have MVP against OGS. It's going to be a good day at the GSTL.
Yeah, absolutely, man. MVP looking so strong right now. Obviously having two finalists at the GSL just recently for Code S, and Dongrigu took that win. And in fact, he decided to spend some of his prize money to buy everyone at the studio pizza today.
Yeah, and we are in the unfortunate position that we are sitting here and literally the pizza is over there. It's like a meter?
Yeah,
1.5.
It's really close, man.
And I can smell it. And
I can smell that pizza.
I wasn't hungry before, but now there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 of them.
Oh, that's just part of them, man. There's so much more pizza backstage.
I'm getting so hungry right now.
He's trying to upstage OGS, man. He's just buying pizzas. He's trying to look fancy. That's an interesting way to spend your money, but if you're Dongrigu, I guess buying pizza for people is a nice gesture.
If he wins the game, you should probably just offer them a slice. Or
yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. Get the pizza to OGS. What's OGS going to do? They can't refuse the pizza. It's too good.
No, so that's actually torture. If they keep the pizza here for the entire cast, guys, at some point you will probably just see me dart out of the picture and try to eat one. It is ridiculous. It's right over there.
I know you're hoping for a quick first set.
Can we switch seats or whatever? This is getting really bad now. They just...
Here are our stats for these two teams. You can see MVP's record, pretty stellar compared to OGS, 75% win rate.
Exactly. The captain for MVP, it's Dongrigu, and for oGs-TL, we have the STC, who is going to play as the first player for his team today.
Yeah, that's very true. Notice the team career there. MVP being a runner-up and Season 1 champion of 2011. And oGs-TL took 4th place in Jupiter Division, didn't even make it into the playoffs, just barely not. Of course, in 4th place in the old system of GSL, you don't advance the playoffs at all, so they were just one spot away from getting that playoff spot.
And a couple of people have been asking on Twitter if Jinro is actually in the studio today, if we might see him for OGS, but guys, I haven't seen him today, and I think he's preparing for his Code A qualifier. I'm not quite sure if he's playing on Saturday or on Sunday, but he's not in the studio right now. We have Hero here.
Yeah. I'm not surprised Jinro's not here. Recently, he just hasn't been making team league appearances. I think he's very focused on the individual league right now, as he should be. I mean, his career has not been very good recently. Let's be honest, he has not played well in the tournaments he's been participating in, and
he's been very, very close the last two Code A qualifiers. Yeah. He reached the finals every single time, so maybe this is the Code A qualifier where he can finally get into Code A again. And yeah, we'll see about that. It's going to be pretty interesting. There are a ton of foreigners participating this time, by the way.
Yeah, a lot.
It is ridiculous. So many foreigners participating in the Code A qualifier. But we're here at the GSTL, and these are our two teams, MVP and OGS.
Yeah, pretty extensive lineups for both teams. A good variety of races for both teams as well. And I think definitely today MVP would be the favorite, but it's hard to say what OGS has really got planned. It's kind of a mystery, to be honest.
It's going to be a very, very interesting clan war indeed. And well, the last clan war that I casted for MVP was at the KSL, by the way. They played against ZeNEX, and they kind of refused to bring Dongrigu or Genius into the war, and they lost to ZeNEX. I think that today they will definitely make sure that they bring the big guns, because this is the GSTL, and therefore a completely different level of play.
Absolutely. ZeNEX is obviously a team that's not known for being strong, but you got to take them seriously every now and then.
Yeah, they have a couple of players that just step up in order to take responsibility. We've seen this when Extreme was playing.
I know Genius is not here today. As far as I can see, he's just not in the picture. Right. So that's something to note. So I don't really know where he is, but Dongrigu, I guess he killed him after the Code S finals. There he is, the captain.
And Sniper, second Zerg player for Team MVP. They have a great variety of player. Monster is another Zerg in the roster. You probably heard of him.
Yep. And there's Genius, absent today.
At least up to now. Another Protoss is Finale. Seen him quite often in the GSTL as well.
Yeah, he's done quite well. And there's Tails.
Called the Einstein of Protoss by Todd and Naniwa.
And the Vampire, our starting player for today. Yeah.
Exactly. And Keen. Well, he was not able to make it in the Codes this season, but he might get a couple of wins in the GSTLs.
And there's, of course, SC. And Noble S, who barely did not get a Code A spot for the Esports Weekly match, so he was literally one set away from getting that Code A spot, but was not able to. Unfortunate for him, but there's always next time. Of course, Code A qualifiers are this weekend, starting tomorrow, so that should be exciting to follow as well. Now you can see our race distribution here, 3, 4, and 3, and you can see the win rate as well. Like, it looks like our Protoss players are doing decently, and the Zergs, though, are the big powerhouses. Why? Well, let's put it simply, Dongrygu does not lose often in Team League.
Monster's definitely a good player.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
good too.
He's a good sniper. He's a pretty good sniper. Yeah, but as you mentioned, Code A qualifier starts tomorrow. A little bit unfortunate for us that we can't go there on Saturday because we are casting GSTL tomorrow as well. And guys, remember, tomorrow GSTL starts early. It starts at 1400 in Korea, which is 2 p.m. And for most Europeans, that means like 6 a.m. in the morning.
The pizza.
Yeah, that's the pizza. Oh.
There it is. They moved it away from us. We couldn't smell it as much, but then
they didn't. There are still 4 left. I can see them. I still demand that we switch places later, Wolf.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, he's so
thanks
happy.
for rubbing it in. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Don't worry, Keldor, man. We're going to have a 5-minute break at some point. I don't think all the pizza will be gone. Dongrygu bought a lot of that pizza. There's Trimaster, by the way, from Complexity. He's come to Korea to stay at the MVP house, and he's getting some pizza as well.
Okay, this is just trolling right now. The cameraman is trolling me. Someone translated what I said, and now he's just trolling me and shows all those pizza shots. That is just Batman right there.
Well, look at OGS. They're not eating pizza.
Thank God.
Decided not to. We're going to take a look at their players, though.
And here we go. We have the captain. The STC is taking responsibility, playing as the first player today. Fellow Terran player is top.
Then 4GG's, a.k.a.
Still in Codes.
Lovesick, formerly known as OGS-J. Cool glasses. Always got to say that about Lovesick. And Juke2, he's been around for a while. And Liquid Hero, of course.
Looking sexy as usual.
Yeah, he is. And oGs-TL Inca. Here is Vines, man. He was quite powerful last time. So OGS actually, their Protoss have been doing quite well this season so far. Getting some really big streaks. And of course we saw, Vines did a huge streak last time, and then Inca just finished things off with the final PvP. And you can see their win rate distribution by race. 53.3% with Protoss, but that goes to show that in some of their other Team League matches, they haven't been as strong.
The funny thing is that the 28.6% for Terran kind of result in the fact that when they were facing ZeNEX, that Extreme was basically killing every single Terran player in the lineup of OGS.
Yeah, he was, man. There have been so many Protoss streaks in GSTL recently. Just so many streaks. Like, all the Protoss are streaking. They're just getting win after win. So they're going to be pretty scary. Now, speaking of Protosses, we're going to have our MVP player, I think. We're going to see him in just a moment. There he is. That is MVP Vampire. Protoss has shown himself every now and then in GSTL. He's never been able to really get a super big finish or anything like that. He's never proven himself. Look at his win record. It's 0-2. Like, he's never really even won a game, but he's not even shown impressive games just yet. So obviously he's improved a lot. If Coach Choi really feels like putting him out here today, he's got to feel confident in him in some way. I mean, being the starting player, you have to be an all-around good player.
I talked to Coach Choi a little bit before the game, and we always joke around that MVP is usually finishing their clan wars way too fast and wins like 5-2 or 5-1. And he said like, well, today he thinks that it's going to be a really, really tough battle. He's hoping for a 5-3 win. That's what he's aiming for. It was at least his prediction. So let's see if this actually comes true.
And here is his opponent, the STC. And the STC has shown himself a few times in Team League. He's 3-4. He's in Code A currently. Is ranked 37th in the GSL. because he's been in Code A recently quite often. You can see his win rate by order of appearance as well. And his win rate approaches 1, obviously. When you're 3 and 4, you get 0.75, but that's pretty decent for Team League.
Yeah, it definitely is. And of course, well, it's a pretty small sample size for right now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. In years, man, we'll look back at this and like, I'll be like, I remember when it was 3 and 4, and then like later it's like in the hundreds.
Yeah.
That'll be sick.
Cool.
Speaking of the future, I wonder what the announcement from Blizzard is going to be today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
I hope the beta comes out, man. That'd be sick. I'd go home and just play the beta.
Hell, it's about time.
It's about time. That's a good way to put it, Caldor. I'm waiting for that.
And we were actually waiting for the first game to start. We will be on poolside. It's the first map today. Protoss against Terran. Vampire against the STC. It's going to be a really good match. And now, of course, a little bit of a tough one for Vampire. Not only has the STC the better record in this matchup, but dual side is a map that is still pretty good for Terran. Yeah,
a lot of Protoss do struggle on this map, but he's been training hard. He's known about this for about a week now, so he should be able to at least show us a good game. He's prepared a special build for this map. We'll see what it is in just a moment here. The map is loaded. Are you ready, Caldor?
I definitely am. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the GSTL with Caldor and Wolf. We'll be back after a few seconds. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, to the right side of the map on dual side in the red color. We have our first player for MVP today in this GSTL clan war.
MVP, Vampire!
Starting player for MVP, our Protoss player, and he will have, he has a really tough opponent, a tough time on dual side as well. He is facing to the left side of the map in the blue.
oGs-TL! The
captain of Team OGS.
Yep. You know, the thing about the STC, I feel, is he's finally getting to that point in his career where he is where people were saying he was going to be. For a long time, he was in the military and practicing Starcraft 2 every now and then. It was pretty difficult for him to practice, obviously, while in the military. But you know, he was a Starcraft 1 player that was planning on switching, and when he switched, he didn't make as big of a splash as everyone thought he would, but he recently has just been getting better and better, and he's shown really good matches.
Yeah, talking about being in the military, by the way, I was really surprised when I heard that in Korea it is quite common. You have to go to the military for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't know that. In Europe, it's usually like 1 year that you have to do, or
yeah,
like
in
9
Germany,
months.
don't you have 2 different options? You can go for 2 years, but if you do a different type of service or something like that?
Yeah, you can do social service stuff, and either way, you have to spend like 9 months. And well, I think they changed it now, so you can do it, but you don't have to anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, well, I was really surprised when I heard that it's 2 years in Korea, and man, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, and it's actually so important to Koreans to go. Even if they have an opportunity in some way to avoid it, they will not. It's very important. So. Yeah.
But you talked a little bit about the STC and how he's doing really well lately, and I have to say that his record against Protoss is not too shabby. He's on 58% win ratio. He won 53 games, lost 38 of them, so he's looking pretty good in this matchup.
Yeah, he really is.
Well, MVP Vampire, he is on 9 wins and 10 losses, obviously a little bit of a smaller sample size. He has a 47 win ratio, therefore. And let's see if he can overcome the odds today.
Well, the SEC is going to check and see the double gas here. You will see Chrono Boost being used on Warp Gate research as well as a second gateway. So he's going to be a little bit curious about what type of build he's going to encounter here. Normally, players don't make 2 gateways and expand on this type of map. He saw the wall off. Actually, no. Vampire hasn't scouted at all. I thought he saw the wall off and might be trying to do a 2-gate expand to put some pressure on. He actually has no information about what his opponent's doing. He's not scouted at all. And the command center is now 3/4 of the way done. 2 barracks are being added, so he's going to want to follow up with marine pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very, very interesting to see what exactly Vampire is going to do. Protoss has been struggling quite a lot on dual side against Terran. There are so many builds that you can execute as a Terran player. You can go for the 1-1-1 build, which is still so strong on dual side. But we have the expansion for the STC. He's going, as Wolf just mentioned, for 2 additional barracks in order to be safe.
He's not going for the 4 barracks follow-up. He's taking his gases now. This is kind of like the middle ground between those 2 branches. We're going to see the Stalker of Vampire come up here and poke at a Marine or 2, but with good micro by the STC, he should have to retreat. Oh!
Yeah, no, losing a couple of hit points, not too many, so the STC is looking pretty good, but we have a lot of Stalkers right now, a lot of aggression here by MVP Vampire.
Yeah, he really wants to delay the expansion as long as possible, and I can't blame him for that. He's going to get his Nexus up fairly soon as well. In fact, he's starting it just now. The Command Center has been lifted. He's going to push the Stalker back. When his buddy joins up, though, he's going to need that bunker to defend, and the Stalker's friend's actually hanging out over at the Watchtower. He's not coming to help. Now he is.
Yeah, he doesn't get doesn't get aggressive at all, so he's just trying to get the Watchtowers, and now he has 3 Stalkers transitioning right into the Robo. And, well, so far, finally trying to poke a little bit, and with good micro, he could actually snipe a lot of these Marines, but he has to take out the SCP as well.
Yeah, he's just going to take out a few more of these units. Oh, the bunker finishes. Does get the SCV, but loses no hit points.
Yeah, well done.
To be honest, if he had pressured a little bit faster, he could have done a lot more with this, and I think that was probably his plan. He just kind of botched it a little bit.
Exactly. I was a little bit curious to see that he was actually trying to secure the Watchtowers first, and then he got the 2 Stalkers in order to help out. Because, as you mentioned, if he would have attacked early, he could have sniped the SCV, he could have delayed the bunker a little bit, sniped the occasional Marine. He wouldn't have killed the STC, but at least he could have dealt a little bit more damage.
Yeah, he would have forced more SCVs off the line if the bunker was not finished. I mean, he would have definitely lost some units until the Mirage came out for sure. And the Nexus now finishes. He did delay things just a little bit. He's forced a second bunker now. The worker count 32 to 29. And there is +1 armor on the way. Stim is about halfway done here. The factory is finishing up for the STC.
And we have the +1 armor upgrade, and of course, so important, the first Immortals. I actually like that most Terran Protoss players are just trying to use a couple of Immortals now in their army before they go for some kind of Colossi attack, especially against early pushes with tanks. This is just so good.
Yeah. Actually, he can hit a timing with just 1 Immortal and pressure at the bunkers. If he chooses to, he's going to check at those bunkers now with the Stalker since he doesn't have an Observer. Just wants to find out in any way he can if the bunkers are still there. He's actually going to make a second Immortal. He's starting a Twilight Council now as well. With these 2 Immortals, he has the ability to pressure just a little bit. He's not going to be as quick as the one with just 1 Immortal, but he can still pressure if he wants to. On this map, it's so hard to take a 3rd base. I don't know what his long-term plan is going to be. The problem for him here is when that 2 Immortal push hits, the medevacs are already going to be out because it was a faster factory than if he had gone for the 4 barracks follow-up.
The one thing that I find a little bit curious is that how many upgrades do we have for our Terran player? Because I don't think that he really started to upgrade his army, did he? No, he has no attack upgrade, no armor upgrade.
Just got an engineering bay. It's not even being researched right now.
Yeah, he's a little bit late with his upgrades. We already have the +1 attack armor upgrade done for Vampire, and he's probably heading right into the attack upgrade as well. So even though now we have +1 for the STC as well, he's a little bit late.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be late. 2 more gateways being added here. Charges on the way, and +1 or +2 Guardian, +2 armor. He might do a +2 Charge Zealot Guardian Shield timing attack. That's an older build. I don't think he's really going to hit the timing for that. It looks like he's just going to get a Templar Archives. Going to Charge Zealot Archon from here, it's a much better idea. If he finds out at any point, which he will with his Observer very soon, that he's going to be ahead in upgrades, it's going to allow him to kind of control the flow of the game. But still, even so, with an upgrade advantage, it's going to be difficult to take that 3rd base as a Protoss on this map.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult to take a 3rd, but I have to say that if the STC plays too passive here, then those upgrades will definitely play a huge role in fights. But now he's getting a little bit more. Well, he's starting to take the initiative in this game, and this is a scary army.
Yeah, it is. Guardian Shield is up, though.
Yeah, he's ready for it. He has the Guardian Shield. We talked a little bit about the Immortals as well. He needs to target fire the Marauders, though. Needs to make sure that those Immortals don't waste their shots on the Marines.
With 2 Observers out, he can spot both directions here, so the Terran army is always going to be spotted by him. There's no way for him to really sneak by.
And I really like this play. This stationary play with the observers is so much better than just following the army, because you will be spotted at some point. Nice drop into the main base now, though.
Yeah, let's see how Vampire reacts here.
He needs to split his army. So far, he's doing a good job. He's charging in with the Zealots, but at the same time, he has to flank the rest of the army.
Yeah, his army was way behind.
Oh my god. This is horrible right now. Beautiful play by the STC. He's taking out additional Zealots right now, and this drop play proved to be so effective.
Yeah, and it's not even over yet. The Zealots now have to retreat. There's not enough range damage, and I think the game may actually just end here. Calder, he's about to get +2 armor, but even so, the STC is doing so much damage. The Archon getting some extra hits from the high ground, that's a weird sight to see. But look at this, man, he's just losing too much. The Archon falls, the Immortal will fall as well. They'll put just one Immortal left, but there's so many Marines here.
Very, very well done by the STC. This was just beautiful. Very well executed. Drops onto the high ground, and MVP Vampire already has a hard time dividing his forces in order to defend the expansion at the main base. And then suddenly the STC moves towards the cliff, takes out all those units, and Vampire is completely overwhelmed by the attack. He has no idea how to deal with it.
Oh, a fake drop pulling the Zealots into the wrong location so his Marines can hit from the low ground. He stems.
Wow.
The Zealots, remember, do have charge and better upgrades. It's 2-1 to 0-1.
Such a nice decision making here by oGs-TL. I love it, and MVP Vampire is in a lot of trouble. He's down to 70 supply now
and
against
EMP
126.
hits all the units, even some probes. And I think this is going to be at the factory, blocking too many units. Nice land on the factory to block off those Zealots. 1 Immortal down, 2 Immortals down, and this game is over.
Yes,
GG.
it definitely is. Very, very well done by the STC.
Well executed timing attack. His opponent did not respond correctly.
That was just so well done. This drop was just beautiful. Beautiful to watch, and then the second engagement as well. When he tried to fake the second drop into the main base, suddenly the Protoss player moving up the ramp. And at this point, it was just so hard for him because the whole army moved towards the ramp, and then there was the bottleneck position. The Protoss could never engage the Terran army. And
I like that pose. Oh man. Well, you know, the other thing was he killed so many of the Stalkers off. There were too many Zealots. There was not enough range damage. So when he did the fake drop, he knew that he could get Zealots for free if they went up. And if no units went up, he wouldn't lose the dropships because there's nothing to shoot the dropships anyway. So it was just actually a perfect tactical decision by the SEC when he was ahead like that. He was like, well, what can I lose here? Nothing. Either you run the Zealots in to defend against a drop that's not there and I kill your Zealots from the low ground, or you don't run your Zealots in, my dropships are fine, and then I kill your Zealots while they come down the ramp anyways. Nice factory land as well to block the Zealots off. I really like that.
Just made sure that the Zealots had a lot longer way in order to pass the factory, go down the ramp, pass the factory, go around it, and then attack. And the whole entire time, the Marines and the Marauders could just snipe them off one by one. Very, very well done.
Yeah, it was really well executed by the STC, and Vampire just did not respond appropriately. He split his units, but when he tried to go for the units on the low ground, when he sent them around, they just took too long to get there, so he basically fought with half of his army against a full Terran army, and then fought with the other half and just got pushed back. Even with better upgrades, it was 2-1 against 0-0 for a little while, and then when +1 finished for the Terran, it was 2-1 against +1. So
his timing was just a little bit off when he tried to engage. He engaged too early with the units on the high ground, as you just mentioned, and his low ground army was just too slow. So very well done by the STC, and therefore OGS in the lead with 1-0. MVP has to find out, well, has to find a new player. We don't have any invite yet, so we have no idea about the next map, and shouldn't take too long, and then we'll see what MVP is going to do right now.
Yeah, I'm really curious who they're going to pick.
Terran? We'll probably see a Zerg player.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know who. It could be Monster. You know, Monster, when he played against OGS last time, I think he lost to Nada, to a Bunker Rush, if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago. I wonder, I mean, that's not going to affect their choice, I don't think, but here we go. We're going to find out now. I did not think we'll see a Protoss at this stage. I think you're exactly right. I think we will see a Zerg. But it's going to be Finale. Wow. Pulling him out early, man. I thought it was only game 2, but I guess it's already time for the finale.
He's having fun today, doesn't he?
And he wants GIFs of that all over the internet. All right. Some trivia about Finale. He recently added me on Facebook. I saw like a Facebook request. I was like, is that Finale? And it was, and I accepted him, and he started talking to me, man. He's a really friendly guy. He's a really cool guy in general. I would say he's very young and quite talented. Obviously, everyone knows that, man. They've seen his performance. Look at his average wins over 1. That is super impressive in the team league.
Yeah, indeed. Third place, 100%. I would have waited another game. We don't have too many games for him on record. But
Yeah, he's very. He just made a splash recently.
yeah, he has he's a 9-7 against Terran, 56 win ratio. And his last opponents were Rio. He lost him in the KSL. I actually remember those games. Rio played very, very well. It was a little bit surprising to see him take down. I think he took down 2 or 3 players of MVP. It was very well done.
Oh, Real seems to be pretty scary recently.
Yeah. And well, I guess we'll have a quick break in order to give the players a chance to prepare for the next match, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in roughly 5 minutes. This is the GSTL with Calder and Wolf. We'll be back.
in a section that was working class.